my first World Series run, I finished with this ERA, which means pitching can win games. And today I'm going to make you a better pitcher by going over settings and all of the other tips and tricks when it comes to pitching. Let's jump right into it. The number one thing we're going to be talking about is the settings. Obviously, the one that we're going to be talking about is Pinpoint. I'm not going to go over meter, pulse, pure analog, classic, none of that. Pinpoint is definitely the best one. And I know it's the one that most people kind of struggle with. So I'm going to help you kind of make it a lot better. But we're going to be talking about Pinpoint and Pinpoint only. I use Chevron. Chevron is the one that with the little arrows where you can see kind of like the break and how much the pitch breaks when you select it. You can also go Chevron fades. It kind of fades it away. Then you can go pitch trail as well. It kind of tells you where the pitch is gonna be landing. But we're gonna go with Pinpoint and Chevron. When it comes to the camera I'm using is zoom. The reason why I use zoom is because I can see it from behind the catcher's plate. So if I'm not listening to the game or whatever, I can still see the base runner trying to steal second. If I'm using a camera that is behind the pitcher, a lot of the times I do not see the runner go, or I cannot hear or whatever. So I like here, I can see the whole hitter, I can see the whole field, and I can see the base runners, which to me is kind of important as well. I know a lot of people like using their hitting camera for the pitching camera, and it gets repetitive as far as like the pitching. You're seeing more pitches and more breaks, and it can help. For me, I like seeing kind of like the changes in both, and I want you guys to have a better experience when you guys see the videos as well. So that's the reason why, another reason why I use zoom for pitching. All right, so the number one thing that we're going to be talking about with Pinpoint is the Pinpoint. How do you master it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select the cutter. It's a very useful pitch. A lot of people use it, and you should too. So I see that it goes left, up, and then hold it for a few seconds and then down. That's exact tempo and speed that you're gonna have to do it. So we're gonna go left, up, we hold it, and go down. Now I messed it up a bit going down, and I made it a little bit to the left, but it was fine as far as that percentage. Let's try it again. We're gonna go left, up, we hold it, and go down. And that was a little bit better. Now, if you're not looking at the Pinpoint when it releases, you can also look at the pitcher's release, right? So if we go left, up, I'm looking at the pitcher, and as soon as he's about to release it, that's when I go down. So those are two different timing mechanisms that you can use for Pinpoint. Let's try it again. We go left, up, hold it, and go down as soon as he releases it. We're starting with the easiest pitch. Another easy pitch is the 12-6. It's down and around, down and around. You take it all the way to the top, you hold it, and then release it when he's about to release the pitch. So let's try it again. We go down and around at the same tempo that they're showing us. 95% is still going to be very solid. You're still going to be hitting your spots more times than not. So let's try that one more time. Go around. There's the speed and the release, right? So those are the same thing. Those are the basics. You have to practice with the easiest pitch. Let's go ahead and try a fastball. It's down, up. You hold it, and release down. Now, one of the things that you can do when pitching as well is that you can let go of the stick. And I'm sure if you've seen my videos or my streams, you'll see that when it's at the top, I let it go and it kind of pauses in the middle. And that's me releasing it, right? So I'm going to go cutter, left, up. I'm going to go ahead and release, and it's going to hold there. And then you go down. And I think it's easier to hit your corner spots when it comes to that. I'm going to pick a sinker now. Sinker motion, release, and wait for the pitch to come. Now, the problem with this one is that some pitchers have a little bit of a faster, wind up, and you won't be able to do it as easy, right? Like this one, no runners on. Walker Buehler has a little bit of a slower wind up. It's easier to do, so you can do it with him. You let go, and then you go down. So keep that in mind. You can try it, especially again going into the corners. Try this backdoor cutter. I need to go to the left. You got to hit the ball on that circle, right? And we hit it basically perfect, but we missed on the inside part of the par, which is it's going to happen, right? But we're releasing it. It's easier to hit those corner dots there when you're going inside or outside. Let's try one more time. This time inside. We release it here. We let go of the stick and then go inside. It's a little bit easier to do it that way. You can do it from the top anyways, and it's going to be fine. Let's try the back door from holding it, hold it. He's about to release it. Then we go there. It's fine, but it can help you become a little bit better pitcher if you're doing it that way by letting it go. Now let's go ahead and try it with runners on base, right? So we have a runner on first. I'm going to select the cutter, and you'll see that it's a little bit faster with Walker Buehler. And Walker Buehler is probably not the best example to use right now because his windup is still pretty slow, right? So let's go ahead and pick a different pitcher. All right, so let's try it with Tanner Houck. He does have a sweeper, sinker, splitter, and cutter. He should be a little bit faster. As you can see, still not too bad. Obviously, the problem with some of the pitchers, like you have Tarek Skubal and Clayton Kershaw, when they have runners on base, the windup is a little bit faster. And by a little bit faster, I mean a lot faster. What you have to do in that scenario is really focus on what they're showing you. Sinker, you're trying to do it the same way they're doing. For them, you probably have to look at the timing for the release, right? Especially the timing, because they won't be holding it a whole lot. So with Tanner Houck, it's probably a little bit easier because it's a little bit slower, but you have to always keep in mind and trying to see what they're showing. They're showing you what you have to do when it comes to pitching. Now, splitter is a little bit more, a little bit more difficult because you have to go left and then around to the middle of the right, like that 3 o'clock, and then come back up and go down. But the more you practice this one, the better. And the splitter is a very effective pitch as well. So you do want to master the splitter pinpoint because it will get you a ton of outs. It didn't get me an out there, but it will get you a ton of outs. Now, another thing that's going to make you a better pitcher is tunneling and mixing your pitches and your pitch speeds, right? The reason why we see cutters and sinkers being the meta is because those are the easiest pitch to tunnel. So we're going to go ahead and pick a sinker. I'm not going to move the left stick. It's going to be right down the middle. You see where the pitch starts and where it ends, right? So it ended a little bit low and away on that sinker because it breaks that way with against righties. So the cutter, starting it inside or starting in the middle, it cuts inside. So it's the same starting point of that pitch, but it ends in a different spot of the plate. So let's try it again. Sinker in the middle is going to go ahead and end towards lower half, low outside to lefties, inside, low and inside to righties. Now with the cutter starting in the middle, you're going to see that it's going to break in. It's going to end a little bit inside of the lefties. Now, the good thing about this and the important thing about this is that that's how you're going to get your opponents to be guessing, right? You want the pitch to start at a same spot, but then break different ways. The pitch speed differential technically, or a lot of the times between the cutter and the sinker, is not a ton. So it's going to be easier to track that, even if they're using tempo. You guys know about tempo already. So if they're using tempo, it's going to be a little bit tougher for them because they won't know where the ball is going to break. So like, for example, I'm going to throw a cutter inside. I don't want him to swing at this ball. There you go. I don't want him to swing at that. The reason why I didn't want him to swing is because I'm setting him up for the next pitch. The next pitch is going to be a sinker. It's going to come back and it should be a little bit better. And there it goes. That is a tunneling. The pitch started in the same spot, but it ended in a different spot. And that's what is important about tunneling. You can do it with the sweeper as well, right? I'm going to start the sweeper here. I didn't move the left stick and it's going to go inside. That's fine. So now what I want to do is tunnel that with the sinker and it's going to break outside. Now, the problem with that is that the sinker is a little bit faster than the sweeper. So the timing and the pitch speeds is a little bit different, obviously, but you can use it for tunneling with that as well. So another thing when it comes to pitching is the timing. So when we talk about the timing, I've been releasing the pitches as soon as he's about to release it, and that gives me perfect timing, which gives you the best chance at where the pitch is going to end up. It's going to end up in the inside of the par, which we already know is that shadow area there inside of the chevron, right? But if I release it a little bit early, that means the pitch is going to go a little bit higher. So we've seen that the sinker ends up a little bit low and away from lefties. I'm going to release it early and you should see that it's going to be a little bit higher. There it was. That was more middle of the zone. I'm going to do it again. Releasing it a little bit early, a lot early, and it was a lot higher, right? So I'm trying to make it super obvious for you. Now, I'm going to release it a little bit late, and it should be a lot lower, right? And there it goes. I release it late. It's a lot lower. So this is important to know because if you're trying to throw a curveball in the dirt, you want to release it either perfect or a little bit later to not miss in the middle of the zone. Same thing with the splitter. I want this splitter low in the zone. I'm going to release it a little bit late, or obviously you want to hit it perfect if you can, but if you can be a little bit cautious, you want to do that, right? There it goes, a little bit late. Even if it's 0.02, that is a little bit late. Like, you want to miss in a good spot, right? You don't want to miss a mistake pitch. A mistake pitch right here, if you leave it down the middle, that's what they're going to do. They're going to hit it hard. So you want to make sure that you're missing it where you want to miss it, especially those curveballs in their 0-2 count. You want to throw a curveball in the dirt to get him ready for a fastball up. That's kind of like that tunneling that I was talking about earlier as well. So you want to miss where you want to miss, where in your spot, not the hitter spot. Another thing that you want to know and practice is that you want to pitch around in the corner. Sometimes I say it all the times, the pitch down the middle is the best pitch in MLB The Show, because it sometimes is. But if it's a mistake pitch, it won't be. So you're trying to pitch in the corners, and because it's going to be a little bit harder for your opponent to hit those balls. So you're trying to pitch around the corners, all of them, but also a lot of times, especially if you're noticing that your opponent is slamming the PCI, you probably want to hit it right here, like that 3/4 of the way down. You don't want to hit it all the way down because he's slamming the PCI. He's going to be making contact there, or hard contact there. You want to hit him with some you want him to hit some softer contact, then you want to be more strategic with the placement there. That's where I wanted it. Not all the way down, not all the way up. It's going to happen. They're going to get base hit. It's fine. But you got to look at everything, right? Right now with this pitcher, it doesn't have a fastball, so we know that the par is going to get bigger when it goes up with a sinker. When it goes down, it's going to stay the same. The cutter, it doesn't change. So the off-speed pitches, when it's high in the zone, you're going to have a bigger par. When it's a bigger par, more of a chance at a mistake pitch. Now, if you throw a pitch down the middle, you can do it every once in a while, especially with a fastball, outlier, higher difficulties. It's going to be tough to expect it, right? As a hitter, you don't expect pitches down the middle, and that's the reason why sometimes it works, but you want to be careful with them. So another thing that you want to do is try to read your opponent, right? See if he's ready, geared up for that fastball, right? So let me throw a cutter right now, right here. Boom, he was ready for that one, right? He pulled that cutter, he hit it hard. So now I have to be careful with that, right? I already know that he's geared up for that cutter or hard fastball inside, so I'm just going to give him a splitter low and away, right? And hopefully we get him a little bit of balance. And yes, I'm playing the CPU right now for the video, for the purpose of the video, but it works exactly the same, right? So we threw that cutter at 90 inside, he turned on it, and we went a little bit lower or slower and outside with that splitter, and it worked. Right there we get the double play. But you want to keep them off balance, and the reason why you want to keep them off balance, because you don't want to give them what they're sitting on, right? Especially this year with ambush hitting, they're going to be using it, and it's a big benefit if they guess correctly, right? So you want to try to pitch or use that ambush hitting to your advantage as a pitcher. Another thing that you want to do is get ahead in the count. Obviously, you'll be reading your opponent and see how aggressive he is, see what he's sitting on. But at the same time, a 1-2 count is definitely not the same as a 2-1 count. So you want to get ahead in the count. You want to throw strikes, but at the same time, you cannot be afraid of throwing balls either, right? So especially if you're ahead in the count, don't be afraid to throw balls. A lot of the opponents get swing happy, especially when they're down in the count. So don't be afraid to throw a ball. Let's say I'm ahead in the count. I'm okay if he chases at this. Oh, he didn't chase. That's fine. Let's say it's now a 1-2 count. Then that's fine. I can throw another ball if I want to and see if he chases. Oh, he chased, so I got the out. And that's exactly what's going to happen in online play. So don't be afraid to throw. Obviously, you want to get ahead in the count early, and then feel free to throw some balls when you're ahead in the count. Now, for the last tip, I did jump into Diamond Dynasty. I'm going to be playing the CPU here for a couple of scenarios here, but I do want to show you, obviously, pitcher confidence, pitch confidence, energy, all that good stuff. Those are a lot of the things that you have to keep in mind when pitching. Also, when hitting, try to keep in mind or try to keep an eye out on your opponent's energy and confidence as well, right? So I'm gonna go on pause. If you see here in the right corner, you see the energy is full. Obviously, it's the first pitch of the game, and then you can also see the confidence. It starts pretty much at the same. I think it's probably what 60-40 there, so 60%. I'm gonna start with a cutter. Just to throw. Obviously, we have a count here. We don't want to start with the ball. We started with the ball anyways, right? But you see the blue circles around the pitches. Those are going to be the confidence for that specific pitch. It is very important to start working on that confidence and keeping an eye out on that pitch confidence for every single pitch early in the game. As you see, you've seen right now, I threw a cutter for a ball. You see the confidence, and you'll see it now in just a second again. You'll see the confidence on the cutter is a little bit lower than where he started, and I threw a strike for the sinker, and the confidence of that sinker is a little bit higher. So keep an eye out on that. You can see it there. So now I'm like, okay, hold up. I need to throw a strike with a cutter, but I also got to be careful because the confidence is not there. So I've got to execute my pitch, and I did that, and you see the confidence, how it came up. You don't want to ignore any of the pitches either. Obviously, The curveball is probably the least used pitch in all of Diamond Dynasty. So you know, but you still want to keep an eye out on that. Make sure you're still using it. Let's start with the changeup here. That's a ball. You'll see now how the confidence is a little bit lower than what it was before that pitch. So let's see if we can throw it for a strike and it doesn't get destroyed. It didn't get destroyed. It got an out. So the confidence now should be a little bit higher as well because we got an out with that pitch. So keep an eye out on that. Keep an eye out on the pitch confidence, the pitcher's energy, and the confidence. When the pitcher's energy is out to a yellow, the opponent's PCI will get a ton bigger. It will be bigger and it will be a disadvantage for you. So I try to not pitch with pitchers when they're already in the yellow, especially, you know, in ranked seasons. I try to keep an eye out on the pitch count as well. If I see that he's dominating, I'm up 4 or 5 runs, I can, you know, maybe get an extra out or two. I'll try to do that. But if it's a close game, late in the game, go to the bullpen. Don't be afraid to go to the bullpen because that energy is extremely important. Same with the confidence. Like when you see like, oh, why did that ball didn't go? I put it a good swing. Check out the pitcher's confidence. If that confidence of your opponent pitcher or the pitch itself is high, you're going to have less chance of getting a successful at bat, a successful hit or home run, right? So keep an eye out on those things as well. But I wanted to give you guys some tips when it comes to pitching. A lot of you guys have been asking me about this. So here was the first pitch and tips video of MLB The Show 25, and the first thing's probably MLB The Show 23. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know down in the comment section below. What's your ERA? What do you think about the video? What are some of the things that we can do? We can do a pitch and tips video 2.0. We can bring that specifically for something that you want me to touch on a little bit more in depth. So let me know down in the comment section below. But again, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know again by hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. But until next time, this is YeYo, and I'm out.